I have a safety issue, and not speaking just for myself because I've talked to a number of residents. The town does an excellent job on the road maintenance, major roads, thoroughfares. But again, I said a safety issue, and Gary mentioned about the brush and the signs, the real estate signs. There are a number of walkers throughout our town, as you know, a number of pedestrians, and many of them are out early morning, late afternoon. Visibility is poor, not as good as it is during the other part of the day. But I'm specifically addressing the brush. Just a few years ago, it seemed that all our roads were under a routine maintenance where they came through and they cleared about 4 or 5 feet from the edge of the roadways. And I'm sure many of us have seen last year or so where you actually have trees now, some 3-4 feet high, not only growing in that area, but now extending past the roadway with the branches.
What we're doing to maintain the roads. Last year we spent about $1.1 million to service about half the public roadways in Carefree. HOAs maintain their own roads. Thank you very much. It saves us tax money. So we did half the roads with maintenance last year. This year we have $1.1 million in the budget to service basically all the other roads in Carefree. We expect to bring that contract to council January, optimistically, more reasonably February, and implement that road service program in the early or late spring of 2014. And that would include all the other roads that need it. We have a 10-year maintenance plan. That is, we have a plan that says, here's the roads and here's when we expect that they're going to need service. But if the pothole breaks out, we'll fill the pothole. We won't wait for 7 years to fill. But yes, we do have a plan. This spring we expect to maintain the roads. As far as the brush, we do have 4 people in the Public Works Department. One of them just injured a shoulder, and he's going to be off for a week on workman's comp. So you have 4 people to do all the work that we expect the Public Works Department to do. 2 things. Yes, we do have a program to go out and clean the brush, but if you know of some area of concern, again, please let us know where it is and we can get people out there. There were some people out along Cave Creek Road that recently called West Cave Creek Road out by the Lutheran Church. They had a visibility issue, and fortunately we were able to take care of that visibility issue in a day or 2. They couldn't see to make a left turn. We took out some cactus that had gotten too big and was blocking the view. So if you would let us know the specific concern, we can get people out there. Gary, do you want to talk about the general maintenance?
Let me touch upon the vegetation. And it's interesting, the pendulum swings back and forth on many issues. And the issue of vegetation, that the pendulum frequently swings back and forth. Several years ago, town staff proactively went out into neighborhoods and started trimming brush. And neighbors came out of the woodwork saying, how dare you desecrate the desert? Leave it, don't touch it. And so the pendulum swung, let's minimize the maintenance, let's be more reactive than proactive. And so now we're going back to, okay, the vegetation is growing, it's encroaching on the streets, so let's readjust our plan of attack and start addressing the growth in the street. So it's going to swing back and forth. You're going to hear about that in various meetings, and we're aware of that issue, and we're trying to address that issue on an as-needed basis. But we take it seriously. Please call us, because we can't be everywhere. Once again, the mayor articulated that we have a small staff. We can't be everywhere, throughout the community every day. So if there's a concern for you with a respective street or neighborhood, let us know, and certainly we'll address it. I think people are surprised how quickly we address the issues when they're raised to us. As far as street maintenance, about 2 years ago, we did a street maintenance plan. It's on the internet. It goes A through Z and explains what we do, what we focus on, why it's important to do street maintenance. And I think we're ahead of the curve. Staff has attended many state seminars about street maintenance, reviewed what other jurisdictions have done, and what we found out is what we're doing is a state-of-the-art system. Actually, Cave Creek has now decided to do a preventative maintenance plan. You might have seen that in the paper recently. So we have a 10-year plan where we project what type of maintenance needs to be done with each and every public street. The projects are packaged to create economy of scale. That's how we did the project last year. I think many residents have seen the fruits of that effort this past year, and we're looking at packaging another significant project this year. So we are looking at the streets, evaluating them, investing strategically the money, the public money wisely in our streets. $1.2 million is a significant percentage of our annual budget, which is approximately $5 million. So you can see that we do take street maintenance very seriously here.
Just to follow up on that, Gary, our roadways in Carefree Rolling Hills have more writing on them than a tomb in Egypt. Is this a good sign for us that something's going to happen soon?
That's an excellent sign. What we're doing right now is preparing the bid package. In order to prepare the bid package, we're actually going out there and measuring every crack and identifying those cracks, identifying the treatments if they're alligatoring, measuring the alligatoring, so we have quantities, exact quantities. So when we go out to bid, we get good, sound bids. So that's all part of the process. Unfortunately, it's a necessity, it's an evil necessity of trying to define the bid in exact quantities so that we could get those good estimates. So yes, that's a good sign.
Okay, good.
In addition, staff will be available to answer questions and go out and talk to you about your streets too. That's a service that we provide. So we'd love, if you have private streets, you have questions, give us a call. We're here to help.
The other thing I'd mention to you from gated communities is something that Crossings does effectively, and probably some of others of you do. When we have a major road contract, we award it to a low bidder. But there are HOAs that tap in with that low bid and basically go out to XYZ Corporation and say, I'm up here, can you give me an estimate while you have the equipment up here to do Carefree's roads, what would it cost for you to add on? That's strictly between the HOA and the provider of the service, but it typically saves the HOA money. One of the big costs of doing these road projects is bringing the equipment and material up here. So if the HOA can say, well, you already have the equipment up here, just bring some extra material, do the HOA. I think you guys have done that successfully in the past, and others might have also, if you have a gated community.